Natural Born Coaches, episode number 209.
You're listening to the Natural Born Coaches podcast, where coaches come every day to be inspired, learn how to get clients, and build a stronger business. And here's your host, friend to all coaches worldwide, Mark Mawhinney.
Do you want more clients for your coaching business? Of course you do. The secret to have clients rushing to work with you is niching. I've created a program to help you choose and dominate the perfect niche. To learn more about the Seize Your Niche program, go to seizeyourniche.com. That's seizeyourniche.com. Spots are limited, so don't delay. Hey coaches, welcome back to another episode of Natural Born Coaches, the daily podcast for your coaching business. I'm Mark Mawhinney, and I have a great guest on the show today. He just radiates confidence, which is so important for coaches and people in the personal development field, and I'm just really looking forward to this. He is someone who told me this is going to be the best interview on the show, and we've done 200 and some interviews, so that's a big, bold claim, and I like big, bold thinkers. So I'd like to welcome to the show. He's known as Mr. Practical. He's an expert in public speaking, and great guest to have on the show. We have Bishal Sarkar. How are you doing, Bishal?
Excellent. I'm rocking and rolling, Mark. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Yeah, well, you're actually the second guest from India, so that's another cool fact with this interview. But congrats, Bishal. You have, from doing research, almost 1,000 YouTube videos and doing lots of other things in your business. So you're a busy guy.
I'm a busy guy, I agree. And thanks so much for saying I'm the second Indian guy to be on your show. I'm going to be your favorite Indian on your show.
I'm not going to tell Professor M.S. Rao that he was the first, but no, I'm sure you're both great. So I'm going to give the audience a little bit better idea what you do, Bishal, and then we're going to turn it over to learn how you're building your business. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Yes, so as mentioned, our guest today is Bishal Sarkar. Most people know Bishal as Mr. Practical because he brings practical tips, strategies, and techniques to boost your confidence, overcome any stage fear in front of large audiences, deliver persuasive world-class presentations, and eventually rock the stage. As India's celebrity expert in public speaking, he's the author of several books, including I Love Public Speaking, and he's a proud creator of India's #1 practical public speaking course, Rock the Stage Ultimate Formula. Today, Bishal is here on Natural Born Coaches to discuss how coaches can practically be more powerful, persuasive, and profitable in their business. So, Bishal, can you tell us a little bit more about what you do?
Oh, happy to do that, Mark. What most people know about me, like you said, is that I'm known as Mr. Practical. I have the book, I Love Public Speaking. I have created numerous programs and people love that. What most people don't know about me, Mark, is that I come from a Bengali medium school and a middle-class family as well. Bengali is a language in India.
Okay.
So growing up, I come from a government medium school where my parents paid 289 rupees per year for my tuition fee. And just for the people of US and all the people there, it's less than $5 a year for my school tuition. That's the background that I come from. So when I came from there, I did not have the right mindset. I did not have the right skill set. I did not have the mentors to find my passion in my life. And I was struggling. I knew that I wanted to do something. I knew that I wanted to be on my own. I knew I wanted to help people because my friends used to come to me for advice, but I did not know how to make it the right way. And that is a struggle that most coaches have sometimes. They want to do it. They are passionate about it, but they don't know how to do it. So later on, when I went to the city called Bangalore, where I studied, BBA, which is business administration degree, I found a new world and I was still struggling. And later on, a few years later, I found my passion about public speaking. I started speaking at a young age to companies like small companies that you may have heard of called Microsoft or Google and, Nokia and Samsung.
I think I've heard of Google, yeah.
I think you have. Our best friend, huh? And people started coming to me asking, like, how do you do that? How do you give this world-class presentations? How do you connect with people? And that's when I knew that I had to create a program for people to help them. And I did not do it for the profit in the beginning because I thought, let me give them some advice. And that's when I started building out my YouTube channel, which now has more than 1,000 YouTube videos waiting for you to watch. And people started, watching the videos and they said, man, it's a completely new idea of how to rock the stage. It's not just public speaking. You are teaching us how to go from stage fright to spotlight. And some of the tips that you shared, Vishal, on YouTube is helping us. Can you create a one-day program for us? And that's when I thought, okay, maybe I can do that. And within a week after I created the first program, Present Like a Champ Bootcamp, it was all filled up. And then I found out that this is something that people wanted right here, because people here were sick and tired of being sick and tired of getting some old-fashioned tips about public speaking in India. And that's when, with God's grace, my name became big in India. I started writing books. I started getting exposure on Times of India, which is the biggest newspaper in India. I started getting a lot of requests to be on radio shows, and I'm also going to be in a TV show in India next few months. Wow. And things have been blessed for me. But the thing that I have learned so far, the most important thing, Mark, is that talent will take you high, but training will take you higher. The reason wherever I am right now, the reason wherever I'm going right now is not because of Vishal. Vishal is not successful for Vishal. Vishal is successful because of Vishal's mentors. I've been mentored by some of the best speakers in the world. We talk about Les Brown. We talk about some of the home study courses of Anthony Robbins. We talk about Gary Vaynerchuk. These are the people who helped me. And one of the fascinating things is that I grew up, my profession speaking wise, I grew up listening to Les Brown and Anthony Robbins and all these people. One of the best days of my life about a year ago was when I got a call from an unknown number. I picked up the call, hello, and there was a lady on the other side of the call, and she said, hello, am I speaking with Mr. Vishal? I said, yes, who's this? And she said, hey, I got your number from Mr. Brown. He wants to speak with you. Now, Mark, I gotta tell you, when she said Mr. Brown, I had no clue who this Brown was. So I said, Brown, which Mr. Brown? And she said, Les Brown. I said, what?
That's
Les Brown is on the call? Yeah. And then he got on the call and he told me, I've been watching some of your videos right now. I'm in India. I'd like to meet you. But unfortunately, I was not in Bangalore at that time. I said, hey, I got to meet you soon. And then he told me one line that taught me the value of believing in myself. He said, Vishal, do you mind writing down my cell phone number? I said, your cell phone number? He said, yes. I want you to call me next week. We're going to talk about something that I want to do in India in 2016. Now, the point I'm trying to say here is that talent will take you high, training will take you higher. And that's the reason I'm so passionate about natural born coaches, because what you do, Mark, is providing them with resources and training so they can improve themselves. And that's why I'm so delighted to be on your show. Man, talent will take you high, but training will take you higher.
I love it. Can you give us Les Brown's cell phone over the air? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's 000
Yeah, that's good. The funny thing with public speaking, have you watched a lot of Seinfeld, the TV show over there? Not sure if it's big in India, but that big, American sitcom from the 1990s.
No, he's not. I haven't watched much videos of him.
Oh, okay. Well, Jerry Seinfeld, he had a sitcom, but he also did.
Jerry Seinfeld. Oh, yeah. Jerry Seinfeld. Yes,
the Seinfeld. Yeah, so I don't know if you saw Jerry's one of the stand-ups he did at the start of the show. I always remember this about public speaking. He said that the number one fear that people have is for public speaking, and number two is death. And he basically said that means at a funeral that more people would rather be in the coffin than delivering the eulogy. And I think that's true. You've probably seen some really bad cases of stage fright. Like, what kind of people are coming to you? Are they just like shaking in their boots and not able to talk in front of any more than a couple people?
Yeah. Before I talk about cases, I need to tell you I was one of those cases.
Oh, you were?
So I was. I was not a confident speaker. Because I came from a background where people told me, don't get attention. When people told me that it's hard out there. This negative programming that we get from the society. And that made me afraid. So when I got on my first speech in my college, I was really afraid. I was shaking and I was terrified. I was sweating. It was a bad situation. It's funny for me to say right now, trust me, Mark, it wasn't funny back then. And right now, I have a lot of people who, for example, I can give an example of a person whose name was Meera Jagadish. She is one of the HR directors of a company called Aruba Networks. She works here in Bangalore, and she had tremendous amount of dry mouth. She used to get afraid on stage. a couple of months ago when she gave us a call. And today, after going through the program, Rock the Stage Ultimate Formula, she's tremendously confident. I can give you another example of a guy named Saurabh Charia. He works for a company called TCS, has tremendous amount of stage fear. Right now, he's rocking the stage, and he's actually a professional coach right now, and he's teaching other people on how to be confident. And this is what I'm proud of so much. It's not about just my success, it's about the success of other people, and that excites me the most as a coach and as an expert.
Yeah, and the reason I wanted you on the show is a lot of people listening, if they're not already speaking, of course a lot of coaches are speakers as well, if they're not already speaking, then that's definitely planned in the future there. It's on the horizon that they want to get into speaking. So there's a lot of synergy between public speaking and coaches, even if coaches aren't actually speaking professionally at the moment.
I totally agree with you. And the reason I agree with you practically is because too many coaches, and this is an excuse they have, they don't even know it's an excuse. They depend too much on quote unquote word of mouth. Look, I love word of mouth, but trust me, word of mouth is not going to pay your bills. I think right now is the time for coaches to expand as a speaker, because I always tell people, don't fish with a hook, fish with a net. Don't go to chase people one-on-one. Go give a speech. Go become so well. Become the go-to expert in your field and give a speech in front of 200 people. And if you can get 20 clients from there, that's far better than chasing these 20 clients one-on-one if you have to. And that's the reason you got to be confident as a speaker. You got to be confident on a phone call when you are speaking with them. You got to be confident on your follow-up. You got to be confident when asking for the sale. Telling them that, okay, man, I know you want discount, but I'm not a discounted guy. Vishal Sarkar doesn't come with the package of the price that you're talking about. I know it's a lot of money. Let's do it anyway. When you have confidence just like that, people say, I want to work with this guy, because just like you say, people don't buy coaching, people buy results. And when they see you as that confident person, people get your coaching over somebody else's.
Yeah, no, I love it. So you're doing real well with your business, as we've discussed. What's been the biggest obstacle you've run into here as you're building your business, and what lessons have you learned from it?
The biggest obstacle I have had so far is obscurity. Money is not the biggest problem of coaches. The biggest problem that they have is that people don't know them. That is the biggest problem. So that's the reason I had to do YouTube videos. That is the reason I had to do calls. That is the reason I had to do Twitter accounts and Facebook and providing value and calling people after calling people after calling people. And one of the things that I think in the obscurity thing, one of the mistakes I did in the beginning is when somebody called me finally and I spoke with them, I never followed up, because I thought that, okay, I give him the value. I told him about my program. If he wants, he'll get back to me. Here is the thing. It's not your customer's responsibility to remember you. No, it's your responsibility to make sure that they don't have a chance to forget you. And that's the reason right now, if anybody ever calls us, they know they're going to receive a call immediately after they make us a call to thank them for the call. They're going to receive 3 different texts within the first 12 hours after they call. They're going to receive 2 emails, one from me, one from my assistant Anupama. They're going to receive a video. I'm going to like amaze them until they say, dude, who are you? And where are you so far? And that is the biggest problem. Look, if people don't know you as a coach, people can't do business with you. And finally, when people get to know you, this is the mistake I did, and I don't want any other coach to make the mistake. Don't be the guy who has bigger ego than the bank account. You know what I mean? People who say, I'm waiting for the customer to call. I'm the coach. I don't have to call him. Look, the thing is, you're killing yourself. You have to reach out to them. You have to tell them, I'm the best guy that you have ever met. I'm doing it for last 25 years, sir. It's a mistake not to go for the coaching right now. Let's sign up for 6 months rather than 2 sessions. So confidence is one thing. And second thing is, you got to get yourself out there through public speaking, through social media, through YouTube, via email, WhatsApp, anything you can do. Burst through the noise and market your voice.
Right. So what's your best method for getting your new clients? Is it through the YouTube videos, or is it something else?
YouTube is my favorite way to get my name out there and provide value, number one. Number two, my best way to get a client is to provide awesome value when they finally call us. So the moment they call us, before telling them about the coach, here's the mistake. When most people call a coach, like I want coaching, or the coach calls that person, most coaches start talking about their programs. I tell things right now, don't talk about your program before talking about their pain. Talk about their pain first, your program second. So when they call us, we give them a lot of value. We teach them a few things. I have a few team members already who take the calls, so I don't have to take the calls because I love spending time with my family more than being on calls right now. We send them PDF reports. We send them my books, some gifts in the mail. We send them DVDs of my speeches. We overload them with trust, because it was Brian Tracy who said that people will do business with you when they know, like, and trust you. So you have to give people the sense that, I'm your guy. You have to show them your blogs. You have to show them your videos. So video is my number one way to promote myself, and giving them value when they finally call us through different resource we have is my final and best way to get them into our programs.
Good stuff. So can you give us any good, speaking of value, any good tips that we could take and implement for our speaking? Anything that you could share?
Absolutely. I can say so many. I think one of the things that speakers need to do right now is work on their catchphrase. Okay, I want you to write this down if you're listening on a podcast. CATCH, catch phrase, PHRASE. Now, the catchphrase is a phrase that you want people to remember after you're done speaking. For example, when I started out and Mark told me that, tell us a little bit about yourself, I told my story, where I came from and where I am. Then I said, talent will take you high, training will take you higher. And that was the phrase. Now, here's the thing. The phrase should be remembered. It should be memorable. People remember this phrase. Talent will take you high, training will take you higher. Why? Because it's memorable, it's rhythmic. Now, here is the point, Mark. When people remember the phrase, they remember the story that I told. And if they can remember the story that I told, that means they remember my message. And if they remember my message, that also means they remember me. To be memorable as a speaker, ask yourself as a coach, what is my message and how can I bring that message under 15 words? And how can I say that line over and over and over again on Facebook, over and over and over again on YouTube, over and over and over again on a phone call, over and over and over again on a email, and just doing it over and over again. That's how you get known. So work on your catchphrase, because when whatever people hear the longest becomes the strongest.
I love it. So what did you come up with the Mr. Practical phrase? Was that right out of the gate, or did it take you a little bit of time to get that?
It took me a little bit of time, because my brand name was The Excellence Guy. That's how we marketed myself. But look, the thing is, I have learned about one thing in branding is that you don't create your brand. Other people will tell you your brand. So once I did this, The Excellence Guy, people were loving it, but some people have said, Vishal, you give so much practical tips, practical techniques, and practical strategies in your boot camp, in your videos. We think you are the practical guy more than the excellence guy. I said, oh, thank you so much for saying that. And it came over and over again. Some people started calling me, hey, Mr. Practical, how are you today? And I said, that's my brand right there. People are calling me that. See, branding is what people think of when they think of you. What people think of when they think of you. So it came from my audience and clients rather than coming from me. And I love it.
Now, you've done almost 1,000 videos. Is there one that stands out that's probably your favorite?
I do a show right now weekly called Rock the Stage Movement. So if you just go to YouTube and type Rock the Stage Movement, there are 3 shows so far. I'm doing a weekly conference call talking about different steps you can do to rock the stage. And I think one of the things, one of the shows we did recently called Without the Jump, There Is No Real Joy. Without the jump, there is no real joy. When I talk about how, as an entrepreneur, sometimes you have to take the jump. And I give a story about how I learned swimming, which is jumping into the water. I was scared, I was afraid, but my trainer pushed me. And there is somebody in your life who needs to push yourself to the water, to that entrepreneurship, to that business in coaching. And without the real jump, there is no real joy. So I think if you go to YouTube and type that, Rock the Stage Movement, that video is going to blow your socks off.
Yeah, okay. We'll definitely check out that one. I'll actually put that one on the show notes so everyone can find that.
Yay, plug in.
Now, you've mentioned YouTube as an online resource, but is there anything else that you use a lot with your business? It could be a tool, a website, or an app in terms of online resources?
Yeah, I use online newsletters, and I'm subscribed. By the way, I'm a subscriber to your newsletter as well. I love it. I think coaches need to have newsletters. Why? Because you need to, on a regular basis, show up in the inbox, show up in the SMS box of your customers. So you can't think. I mean, let's face it. A customer contacts you for coaching, and you tell them the pricing, the investment, and he doesn't get into the coaching. So now what the coach most probably does is that he calls once or twice and leaves some email, and then that's all. Why not take that email address from that client with his permission, who has not become a client yet, add him to the newsletter, so that for next 6 months, 1 year, he's hearing from you once a week. So 3 months down the line or 4 months down the line, when he finally is financially ready to pay somebody, you are the first person that comes to his mind, because your email has been showing up in his email box on Tuesday, on Friday, every single week. Newsletter, and I use MailChimp, MailChimp.com. By the way, I don't get paid anything, just to recommend. MailChimp.com is what I use. That's the best investment I have made so far in terms of keeping in touch with my clients. We also use a lot of apps in terms of SMSing. There is an app called Send It Later, SendItLater, where you can schedule your text messages for next 1 year. So when a client calls us, we immediately schedule 25 different messages that they will receive every single month. Not every single month. Every single month they'll receive 2 messages from us, and I don't have to bother about sending the message. It gets sent automatically. So MailChimp.com and Send It Later.
Okay. And how about books? Is there a book that you can recommend? What's your favorite book?
My favorite book. I think the book that made the biggest difference in my life is a book called Think and Grow Rich. But apart from books, I think one of the people that has made the biggest difference in my life is Anthony Robbins. His home study courses, Personal Power, to his programs called Mastering Influence, it has made a very big difference in my life. And I'm so passionate about sharing this message, and that's why I have the program Rock the Stage Ultimate Formula. Is not just because of making money. I mean, I'm thankful I make money. I'm thankful I make more money than I need ever. But the real passion for me is these people like Anthony Robbins and Les Brown and Gary Vaynerchuk, who wrote the book Jab, 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 Right Hook, who's probably the #1 social media expert in the world. The things that I've learned from them, man, I'll tell you, Mark, I'm so grateful. I have applied them. I've seen results. I've gone from being a broke person to being a very, very financially free person in my life. The reason I'm so grateful is because these people, like I said, Bishal did not make Bishal successful. It's Bishal's mentors who made Bishal successful. And these mentors have helped me. And I hope right now there is somebody who's listening to our podcast, Mark, who needs to hear these names, who needs to hear more about you, who needs to hear more about me, who needs to hear more about Anthony Robbins, so that we can help them together through our videos. We can help them together through our podcasts. We can help them together through our books and audio programs and our boot camps, so they can even do the same thing. So whoever is that person, I'm telling you right now, man, if nobody else ever tells you, I want that coach to know right now that I love them, I respect them, I trust them, and even they can make it big in coaching business.
Yes. So are you doing any fire walks like Tony Robbins at your events?
No. I'm not. But, I love that thing as well. I'm going to be in a Tony Robbins event as an attendee at this end of this year. He's been one of the biggest influencers in my life so far. I love him, man. I love him. Especially I love his height and his length of his teeth.
Yeah, he's definitely an interesting guy. I think he's 6'8", 6'9", somewhere around there. Hands are about the size of a couple basketballs, yeah.
Yeah, when he speaks, it sounds like he's gargling with rocks.
Yeah, exactly. No, we love Tony Robbins. He's mentioned on the show a lot. So, Bishal, we have a lot of listeners who are newer coaches, and they're looking for that piece of advice that they can take and implement into their coaching business. If you had to give a coach just one piece of advice, what would it be?
You are undervaluing your value. The #1 biggest challenge right now coaches have after obscurity is a confidence problem. They think they have a value of $150 an hour. They have much more value. The biggest mistake I made as a business owner, as a coach in the beginning of my career is undervaluing me and undercharging. Look, why charging $50 where you can charge $1,000 for a 30-minute call? You know why? Because people don't pay you. Price is a myth. Many people tell me, but Vishal, if I charge so much, people will say it's a lot of money. Dude, people are already saying it's a lot of money when you say $75. People will say it's a lot of money when you say 75. People will say it's a lot of money when 750. Let's do 750. Huh? Because
Right.
thinking big, because the more they pay, the more they pay attention. So the one piece of advice I'd like to leave everybody with is remember, your confidence is the one thing that will change everything. And be confident about your value, be confident about the result you bring, and be confident about the investment that you take from people and make a bigger difference. Why? Because the more they pay, the more they pay attention.
Yeah, exactly. They're more invested in the whole process.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how about for your business? I know you got a lot going on here in 2015, but what projects are you working on?
Every month we have an event here called Rock the Stage Ultimate Formula, which is the #1 public speaking course that India has ever seen so far. That's what people say, and I love that statement, and I agree with them. We do it in a very intensive way. We take a few people. I love seeing that transformation. They come without having a clue how to be a confident speaker, without having a clue how to connect with an audience, without a clue how to be funny on stage. And they come to the stage and they do this step-by-step formula that we teach them. And they go from being afraid of the stage to being rocking the stage. They deliver world-class presentations, and we do it right now every single month. We also have my one-on-one coaching program, the high-end coaching program. But I'm most fascinated about the Rock the Stage Ultimate Formula. And if anybody, by the way, is interested, you can always go to a free site that I've built for you called publicspeakingmagic.com. That's publicspeakingmagic.com. If you just go there and just tell me, I have a few videos and a few audios that I put together for coaches and professionals who want to be more confident as a speaker. Just tell me where to send it, and I'll send it to you just as my gift. There is no upsell, nothing. Just give your name and email address. I'll be delighted to send you the gifts. publicspeakingmagic.com.
I love it. That's a great domain name too. Well,
Yep.
Vishal, I want to thank you for coming on the show and sharing more about what you're doing. Congrats on everything you're doing with your business. I mean, you've accomplished a lot and certainly shot a lot of videos. So that's one place I'm sure you've motivated a lot of people to really amp up their YouTube efforts, because I know 900 videos are almost 1,000. You were certainly doing more than one a week.
Yeah, no, I'm going for 2,500 at the end of this year. And I started YouTube exactly 16 months ago. 900
geez.
videos in
Yeah.
16 months. Yeah, I'm going for 2,500 videos. So the final word I want to leave you with right now, Mark, before we wrap up, is look, as a coach, your responsibility is to reach out to more people, help more people. Even if you are listening not as a coach, your responsibility is to reach out to more people. And I want you to know that you don't have to let go of your desire to be perfect on stage. When you are on stage, you are there to give a value, give results to people. And whatever you do, I always want you to remember this line, and that's how I leave, is remember this, that public speaking is not about perfection, it's all about connection.
Those are the final words. Good final words. Well, Vishal, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, Mark. I have a great level of respect for you, and I look forward to working with you in our near future.
Thank you. So we've had Vishal Sarkar on the show today. He's known as Mr. Practical, celebrity expert in public speaking, and sharing lots of golden nuggets here for all you coaches who are listening and perhaps looking to get into public speaking. And we could all use more confidence. So thanks to Vishal, and thanks to you, the listeners, for tuning in.